Every summer between July and August, Senegal is cursed with endless downpours.
canal bu doy bu tawé gay do am dara parce que heure bi ngay garé yoy yeb yaangi tardé dañ ci def ay mbalit yi mo waral canal yi di fa
ces saletés là je peux pas comment tu peux vivre avec ces saletés là je sais pas comment même les animaux ne peuvent pas vivre avec ces genres de trucs là.
The town of Kaolack is paralyzed. With the rain and the heat come mosquitoes and diseases. Entire neighborhoods empty. Hassan is preparing to leave his home. He's come to collect some of his things.
Body 5 heures, jëm 6 heures, ci la taw 9 heures, 10 heures ci guddi la doog a arrêté. Mais lii yëpp ci la fees del. ñeenti at.
One last prayer before leaving town. In Senegal, very few people own a car. In order to leave town, there is only one option: the bus station and its flotilla of run-down wheels, all lined up like at a racetrack. Bush taxis and minibuses are in fierce competition, even more so during this seasonal exodus. Some are not close to leaving. The travellers are not out of the woods yet. The route that they face is full of obstacles, linking Kaolack to the town of Ziguinchor in Casamance. The bush taxis and minibuses race, taking every risk. On this route, mechanics are put to the test, and the drivers must pay for it. Another major obstacle: Gambia, a small country that stands as a barrier in the middle of Senegal. To cross the border, the passengers will have to be patient. Senegal is a country of sweat. Here, survival is earned.
This is my walk.
At Kaolack bus station, the minibuses are nicknamed fast coaches, but this is more an intention than a reality. This family can confirm it. The driver is in no rush to leave. Everyone is taking their time. However, their departure is not a given. €6 is 2 days' worth of salary, so after 4 hours of waiting, certain travellers inevitably become frustrated. Passengers keen to get on the road head instead for the bush taxis. With them, the travellers are sure to leave within the hour. Knowing when they will arrive, however, is another story.
C'est difficile parce que c'est un peu fatigant vu la distance et l'état des routes.
For Buna, the driver, each journey is a challenge to get there as quickly as possible. At the wheel of his old Peugeot brake, he cruises as if he owns the road. Not very reassuring for his passengers, especially when they see these wrecks.
chaque jour ak lii la chaque jour oto yi dañ fiy mbëkk oto gars yi affaire yi day jëkk ba saak rek traversé wala ngay daw ba saak nag ñëw rek jëkk rek jéggi la nga mbëkk ko yàlla.
In Senegal, speed kills more than disease. Here, they really drive without safeguards, in all senses of the word.
Ici, c'est pas bon. Ça, là, ça, c'est trop long. Ici, c'est petit. Si tu as descendu les pneus là.
Four days after his accident, Adama is still waiting for assistance. He and his assistant went to the nearest clinic to be treated. Hitchhiking, since then, they have been left to their own devices.
On doit chercher les grilles pour enlever les camions là. Il m'a dit que c'est 2 500 000. Ça c'est tout.
Until his boss brings together the sum, the wait is likely to drag on for these road castaways. Meanwhile, Buna and his taxi tear up the road. He's eager to arrive in Casamance before nightfall. At the same time, the minibus finally leaves Kaolack bus station. It too is racing against the clock. But the journey is hardly underway and the engine is already showing signs of fatigue. Without hesitation, Bala lifts the hood. The radiator let out a geyser of boiling water. Not knowing what is wrong, it's up to the miracle medicine. The driver cools his vehicle, feeding it water, and continues on his way with his fingers crossed. Nothing seems to quench the thirst of the old minibus. The engine is still overheating. The risk, they might have to give up. The driver is forced to stop every 10 kilometers. Not great for his passengers. To find a garage in the bush, Bala makes a detour. The place may not look it, but it is home to a mechanic. One quick glance is enough for this vehicular healer to locate the problem.
waaw soo bi maanaam oto bi dafay tàng day diis. diis bi muy def li ngay accéléré du ko dox après moteur bi day tàng.
The roadside serves as the operating room. The brakes must be completely dismantled. The passengers wonder if it would have been better to just take a bush taxi. The operation proves to be difficult. Rust has soldered the metal. After much struggle, the brakes eventually come off. When they are put back, it is 4 o'clock. They are halfway along their journey. Meanwhile, the taxi has secured its lead, but it still has a major obstacle to overcome: cross Gambia and its river. This long line of trucks is not a good sign. Gambia, a tiny strip of land 40 kilometers wide, right in the middle of Senegal. There is a route that bypasses this obstacle, but it's endless and swarming with bandits. So the Senegalese have no choice. They must cross Gambia, but first they must pay the border guards racket.
I see, xam nga loolu lii boo ko yóbbee fee dañ lay jàpp. waaw dañ lay téye doo dem de.
The truckers who supply Casamance are the main victims of this absurd situation.
À cause du bac, voilà. Il y en a 2 bacs. Les gros bacs avec les petits bacs. mais gros bag bi benn bi dafa paanoon temps yi moo tax affaire yi xaw a saturé quoi.
mën na dem une semaine mën na ko sax ba 10 jours ah.
Il faut même faire plus. Il faut juste sortir de l'argent pour que la voiture prenne une meilleure position quoi, au niveau du rang. Sinon, tu risques de rentrer derrière. En quelque sorte, on est obligé d'acheter son passage, quoi, au fait.
Unable to pay the bribe, Buna's passengers are condemned to wait. It's even more frustrating that during this time the minibus is catching up. Arriving at the border, the minibus does not queue up. It drives directly onto the ferry. Perhaps this is why the Senegalese call them fast coaches. The crossing takes 30 minutes, moving with the current. After the mishaps on the road, the river is a welcome interlude. Sometimes Senegal closes its borders in protest of the exorbitant tolls imposed by Gambia. It's always the passengers who pay the price. In the end, Bala, the minibus driver, and his passengers do rather well. They've only travelled for 12 hours to cover the 280 kilometres which separate Kaolack and Ziguinchor. Buna's taxi arrives 5 hours later. Like in children's stories, the first to leave end up being the last to arrive. Except that here, the moral of the story is different. In the race for survival that the Senegalese must endure, there are only losers. Casamance is poor. Formerly Senegal's breadbasket, today it experiences massive scarcity. Climate change, poor soil management, so many explanations that escape the rice pickers. All they know is that their land is low and that their village is very far from Dakar, the capital of Senegal.
C'est Mariam. Ça, je suis là le temps.
A debt that she will pay in pain. And the task is enormous for this pregnant woman. At the end of the day, even after 10 hours of work, the women still find the strength to tease each other. The day, however, is far from being over for these workers. Amy supports 15 people, and for this whole family, rice is the main staple. Except that the rice is hardly sprouting. There will be no harvest for weeks. Luckily, travelling merchants pass through. Well, when they manage to reach the village. This old berlier is more than half a century old, but Ablay, its driver, Samba, his assistant, and Sula, the owner, are pretty confident in their old machine. It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Get up.
Their route is only 60 kilometers long. But in this season, it is a mud track. Their goal? To try and get to Luma Market, which takes place once a week. And all the better for them that there are no glitches, because the service is not very profitable. If they miss Luma Market, they will have made the journey for nothing. But whatever happens, and even if it means wasting time, they respect rule number 1 of the bush: mutual aid. This biker is stuck, carrying his 100 litres of palm oil. This improvised taxi also helps out those walking to the market on foot. They've hardly got going again when Ablay feels the truck leaning to the right. But a bad surprise awaits them. One of the nuts won't loosen. Tough luck. They must hurry. At any moment, a storm could make the route impassable. The truck has been travelling for almost 10 hours. Having to idle along, the three men watch time slip through their fingers. The market will take place the following morning, and they're not sure they'll make it. With its back tyre flat, the truck is much more difficult to manoeuvre. The crew's fears have been realised. The truck is stuck in a hole. For some reason, they had left without a shovel. Digging by hand, the task proves impossible. Scylla decides to go on foot and search for help. 3 kilometers later, finally, a house. Scylla thinks they're out of trouble, but the shovel does not make much of a difference. Now, a mud trap is closing in on them. Luma village and its market seem unreachable. "300 kilometers to the west, on Senegal's Kafountine beach, everyone fights for survival. For those who find land too cruel, there is the sea, a wide open horizon, provided that you have the courage to face it. Every day there are hundreds that want to board the fishermen's boats. But on this morning, very few are eager to go out to sea. The weather predicts the worst.
Quand le vent rentre là-bas seulement, les pirogues ne peuvent pas partir. Quand les pirogues vont forcer partir, non, ça ne sera pas bon. J'ai vu les gens qui sont en train de décéder au bord de la mer ici.
Last month, 7 sailors did not return. Big boats can carry almost 20 seamen and can bring back up to 7 tons of fish. Suleiman is the youngest member of the crew. At 14 years old, in principle, he's not allowed to work.
Il est obligé de travailler, tu vois. Ici, il y a beaucoup de gens qui sont en train de travailler dans un moyen âge.
Man sama yaay nekkul fi ak sama pap loolu moo tax may dem géej pour ma am xaalis après jàppale sama rak def ko métier dem géej.
Once they're in open sea, in order to attract the fish, the sailors drive away bad spirits. On board, there are only 2 life jackets that the men must take turns sharing. So, once again, they appeal to magic. The sailors rub their bodies with a protective potion made by a witch doctor. Navigation is done without a compass or a GPS, just pure guesswork. After 4 hours at sea, like an oracle, the captain sees the sardines. In reality, he's reading the surface of the ocean, a reflection, a ripple. The fish are there. Now it's time for Suleiman to prove his worth. He must jump into the water and make as much noise as possible with his hands and feet in order to stop the sardines escaping the net. Another sailor joins Suleiman. If he ever gets tired, he can always cling to his life jacket. The noise is supposed to scare the sardines. In the water for over an hour, the two swimmers are reaching the limits of their strength. All that work for this. The net contains only a few sardines. On board the boat, disappointment.
Il n'y a pas de poisson, quoi. Le filet s'est échappé. Les poissons nous ont échappé, mais on va jeter une autre fois.
They must move on. Further off, the captain's eye scrutinizes the surface of the ocean. Paid by commission, none of the sailors can afford to return empty-handed. Back in the bush, the truckers are still at work. To lighten their truck, they unload their entire load of rice, but nothing works.
On pousse nanga donc faut ko nangi oto. Kirkion waton do gaduma do place bouchon rudo. Do minta ha auto wasona tonkaaji.
But there aren't many rocks around. Scylla goes looking for wood. The day passes and the likelihood of getting to the market on time is less and less.
Le moo la métti quoi.
loolu moo ma métti loolu kese moo ma métti parce que lu ma mën a jaay sama bagage yi de beneen oto bi ñëw na di ko jaay lan laa jaay la di ma mën a yóbbu dara.
Farmers from the area come and offer help. They know how much they owe the truck which has supplied them so often.
Souvent takole gangara iteta pour charge ngal ari ngal be hebay no ngal arda. Kirkayni go fu goddo kadi. Nada de so der. Gasi mi yetta ko adala.
Two hours later, the truck arrives at the market, but they're too late. The villagers did not wait for them. They went instead to their competitors. Only one customer was willing to wait for him, but he's not happy. For Silla, the bill is even bigger. He's wasted 2 days' worth of fuel, plus he has to pay the garage to remove the jammed part. Once the wheel is repaired, Silla leaves with his cargo of unsold rice. It's the hard law of the road, one that the travelling merchants know all too well. On board the big fishing boat, fate is relentless on these fishermen. They've been at sea for 8 hours. It's already the 4th time that they have cast their 200-metre-long net and pulled it back in, using only muscle power, without catching a single fish. The 4th time that Suleiman has jumped into the water. But this time, the catch is better. Everyone is smiling, but the boat is far from being full. Not like one of those good days where each man is sure to be well rewarded for his hard work. Today, the catch just about covers the cost of the trip. Paid on commission, the sailors will earn €3. Then, a final blow of bad luck completes this difficult day. They're still 20 kilometres from shore. Spending the night at sea, at the mercy of storms, no one wants to think about that.
Le moteur a respiré de l'eau.
On arrival, the unloading of tons of fish onto the beach looks like a metaphor of the daily life of the Senegalese. A race against the deprived. Hundreds of carriers come to offer their services to the fishermen.
Il y a des caissemans, eux, ce sont des transporteurs. Chacun, on le paye 150 chaque caisse qui l'amène. On ne respecte pas les queues, il n'y a pas de queue. Parfois, il y a des accidents, parfois, ils versent les poissons et les pêcheurs sont fâchés.
The rule is simple. First come, first served. So it is a rat race for just a few cents. Even among the poor, there is a hierarchy. The carriers make up the elite, the others pick up the crumbs. Half scavengers, half thieves.
When it feels fall down, I'll put it here. Okay, great. I'll find it until I have full case. Okay. Time I don't have full case, I find it one. Sometimes you mad, sometimes you fall. Okay. Yeah, this is my walk.
There are dozens of them who come to take the fish. The fishermen try to keep them behind a rope.
Le travail est dur. Quand il venait ici, tu dois respecter le poisson pour il n'a pas gaspillé quoi.
On garde les poissons, on vole les poissons quoi. Après on les met dans les sacs. C'est pour ça qu'ils gardent les poissons.
The rope does not stop them. The fray advances. The most audacious of the thieves climb aboard the boat and help themselves.
Tous les ans là, on fait le manja.
In this economy of survival, everyone must keep their head above water. As for the fish, they're not so fresh when they arrive at their destination. After having marinated for hours in the fishing boats, they're stored on the beach with neither ice nor refrigeration.
Vous voyez les poissons là qu'on pêche au Sénégal, on les vend à Dakar, partout en Chine, en Mali, Guinée, Burkina, tout.
Once again, the trucks must cross the country without giving in to the obstacles that the Senegalese roads promise.